it. Okay, so as per the calendar year format, you have to take 1 to 24, and 1 to 12 is 24, and 13 to 16 is 23. But one thing I will tell you here, now this one, in 5 days we are completing the 2024 year, no? So I should require the 2 years format. What I will do, 1 to 124 is fine. Okay, that's good. 12 whatever is there, in your table you just maintain up to 25. This one. So that what will happen, you will get the 2 years financial year. Because in 5 days you are completing your current year. So again, if you go for 2025 and if you try to do any kind of purchase order, it will throw error message. It will trigger error. So that's why you maintain the for up to 25. You maintain this up to 25. That changes I will do now. So log into SAP here. OB52 to maintain the tier table. So the variant which I have copied from global parameters 1000, no? So 2025. Okay. Hard currency. Okay, just maintain this up to 25. Okay, this one. Now once you do this, the next one more financial accounting concepts what you have to do is chart of accounts. The next one is chart of accounts. Basically it's a GL master. Chart of account we call it as COA. This you are going to maintain in the T code FS00. FS00. So just a concept I will tell you, what is a chart of account, what is the meaning of that. So chart of account, it is a list of ledgers maintained by FI consultants, for doing day-to-day transactions, and so normally here you might have seen this in financial overall terminology, we'll call it as profit and loss statement, balance sheet, like that we'll call in financial accounting. Whatever the day-to-day transactions we are going to use, like for example salary, wages, purchases, sales, loans and advances, or share capital, dividends. You might have heard these words in daily basis. So for all this combination, the FI consultants will maintain that, we call it as ledger. All this whatever I am telling in financial accounting we call it as ledgers, general ledger, that they will maintain the list, okay, for profit and loss and balance sheet account and balance sheet accounts for balance sheet. So as a consultant, we should make sure that whether that is maintained properly or not, because we have copied from global parameter. We have copied the company code from global parameters, so you should make sure that this list of ledger for a profit and loss and balance sheet are copied to my company code. In real time they will do it, it is not our job at all. But this is very very important, because whatever the vendors we have to pay, normally your job is what you are going to do, purchases, you take the inwards, your job is done. But next is who will take care that payment of invoice, in accounting of vendor invoices, finance will take care. So normally for in financial terminology, whatever the vendors supplier you call, no, in accounting terminology we call them as sundry creditors. Sundry creditors. Sundry creditors means the person whom the company should pay the money. Sundry creditors. And in customer vendors, whatever customer are there, no, customers. So in SAP terminology we call it as, accounting terminology, debtors. So normally you are going to bill to a customer, he has to pay the money to you. So debtors means the person who owes money to the company. So this list you have to check whether it is updated in my general ledger. How you are going to check? In the list FS00. It is a T code. There you have to check whether all the GLs are maintained. In the basics I told you data types, right? Master data, transactions data, wherein you have to create in finance GL master, customer master, vendor master, wherein you will be having a master number for each and everything we do. Same way in finance they will create a GL master for profit and loss and balance sheet. For that each and every GL, general ledger, they will have a number allotted to that. Salary, wages, taxes, input tax, output tax, depreciation, revenue from sales, interest paid, rent account, wages account. For all this we will create a GL master. So that you should check. Now come to SAP here, FS00. Straight away you can execute the T code here, enter. Now basically this is, we call it as a navigation tree, okay, but in certain system it won't be available. In some servers you have to activate that. How to activate this navigation tree? Go to settings here, hierarchy display. First I am going to remove this do not display navigation tree. FS00 again, enter, remove the GL number, enter your company code. Like what is my company code? I forgot.
Exceed EX.
EXID. Now again go to settings here, hierarchy display, again display accounts in navigation tree, enter, again come back and again third time execute FS00. See, now you can see your navigation tree. See here, fixed assets account. If you click on drop down, inventory, profit and loss accounts, we have internal stock clearing, general GL accounts, we have tangible assets, capitalized. So like this you have to, now it is copied perfectly, no need to check again, it is done. So whatever the global parameter I have copied, it is correct. Now you search for your sundry creditors. I told, no, I think sundry creditor 16 something it will come here. So it will come in balance sheet account, trade payables, domestic, sundry creditors, trade payables, and reconciliation account is K vendor, because I have to pay money to the vendors, K, and then okay. So this is the GL. When creating the vendor master you have to link this, because the finance people wants to know how much you have spent for purchases, how much vendor liability is there. So you have to link this GL number, sundry creditors, when you are creating a GL master. Okay, very very important part. So that is, we call it as a reconciliation account, because I have to pay money to vendor. So they are my creditors, right? I have to do reconciliation for creditors. That's why when you are creating the vendor master, there will be on tab will come recon account. You have to select this GL number. Okay, I will show you in the vendor master creations part. So this is copied perfectly. So this is the concept of financial accounting in SAP. Controlling area, posting period and general ledger. So this you have to check for. Even in real time also, if you get any error messages also, you have to reach out or you have to check within SAP system how to check, you should aware. Okay. Now this is about the financial accounting. Next I will come to our level. That is, next concept will be vendor configurations. Vendor configurations. Now here vendor configuration, before we do, there are two things you have to do here. First one, do vendor configurations in IMG level. Second one, create vendor masters in easy access. In easy access. So these both are different. Normally this job will be done by consultants. Okay, vendor configurations are done by consultants. Masters creation are done by end users. Both are different. Vendor configurations, I have to create vendor masters in easy access, but before that, as a consultant, I have to define the configuration in IMG level for creating the vendor masters. Okay, because they will ask you in the interview, can you, as a consultant, will you create vendor master? Your answer should be no, because the creation of vendor master done at easy access production server. So you don't have access for production server, you should tell, no madam, we will do configuration for vendors in IMG level, but creation part will be done by end users in easy access production server. But if they ask you, do you know the concept of how the masters are created, you should tell, yes, I know the concept. Don't tell I have done hands-on creations. You should not tell like that. Okay. Now coming to the, first we will do the configuration part, then I will go for creations part here. So how the vendor configurations are done here? Vendor group configurations we have to do. Vendor group configurations. So based on nature of business with vendors, client will give group in business blueprint. So you are a company, whatever the business you are doing with your vendors, right? Whatever the business you are doing with your vendors, the client will give us group in SAP in the blueprint. Based on that, you have to start the vendor configuration. What is that group? If you look at the overall the scenario, the first one will be the domestic group will be there in any company format. If you go domestic group means vendors within the country or local currency vendors. Local currency vendors, one group. Number two, foreign group. Foreign group means foreign currency or overseas. Number three, one-time group. One-time group means non-regular in nature or for promotional orders. Okay. Domestic group means vendors within the country or local, your within the country vendors. Foreign group means foreign currency or overseas custom vendors. One time group means they are not regular vendors. Okay, Once in occasionally we will do business with them and we'll close it off. That's it. That is, we call it as one time group. Now in SAP you have to create standard domestic group you are going to create here. But what is the configuration you have to start? So normally this vendor group configuration, basic configuration we will also call. Step number 1, create group, create account group. You have to create account group in SAP. How? First you have to create one variant, 4 character, and you have to give the name here. Like example, my company code exceed Allah. I will take EXDV, any 4 character, name, domestic vendor for company code Exide. This is the first step. Step number 2, create number ranges. So number, from number and to number. So number ranges you can take anything per DV, any 2 character, 100 to 150. But I have to check it in SAP what is the available number interval are there. Why we create number ranges? Because why we create number ranges? Because I told you end user will create customer vendor master, right? Automatically the number sequence will going to allocate, because in the basic I told you when you are creating a vendor master, example, I am going to create one code 1000, but if they have to get 1000 in the backend level, I told you in IMG level we need to do configuration, right? That is now you have to do. You have to maintain that interval sequence. What is the vendor sequence number should get for end user in production server, that you should decide, but it will be given by the client in the blueprint. That sequence you have to maintain. Here also I will check it out in the server what is available. I don't know, we will go and check there what is the available sequence is there. Now number 3, now to complete this group configuration, whatever the group you have created, you have to link to number range. Yes, obviously, then only I can create the masters. Assign group to number ranges. Assign group to number ranges. So here my group is what? EXDV, and number range is DV. So these two you have to merge, group with number range. So this is the 3 basic configuration you have to do. This is the 3 basic configuration. Create the vendor group, create the number ranges, assign the number ranges you have to take. Okay. So now for this we have to go for IMG level. Let's come to IMG now. Go to SAP, SPRO, IMG. So you have to come to financial accounting, not MM. You have to go to financial accounting here. Accounts receivable and accounts payable, vendor accounts, master data. Here preparations for creating the vendor master data, and here define account group with screen layout. Define account group with screen layout. Execute, click on new entry. Okay. Now account group I told EXDV, give the text here, domestic group for company code EXID. Okay. Domestic group for company code EXID. enter, click on save. Okay, this is the group path. Okay, normally we will maintain field status. Field status means, see, it is a command function. Whenever the end user creating certain configure vendor master cell, there are certain fields you need to update, like vendor name, address, postal code. They might skip that one. So if you maintain field status, they can't skip that one. Just example I will show you. General data, address, vendor name, I will make it as a required entry. So until the user enters that name, system will not allow him to save. He can't skip also. Like that, field status will control the command functions, but it is purely a financial concepts first, so I will not go in deeper. So, but we can maintain this. Sorry, I will just make it as optional. Now only just save, create a group exdv and save, come back. So this is my group. I am going to save it in my Excel file because this I require very important. Yes, this one I have to carry till syllabus, no. So exdv is my group and domestic group. Who is now? Now I have done the group. Next is create number ranges. Create the number ranges. Now first click on this interval and check any available interval are there. Even in your server also you have to check, because it is basically a practice server, right? In the real time it is a live server. The table will be completely empty. Whatever the client will give it in the blueprint will maintain that interval. But here different user will different data. You should copy. You can't get the interval sequence. You have to do copy. How? I will come down here. Say for example, see here, let's take an example of this. I will take this. This one C1. See here, 201 to 300 I have given interval sequence. Only 15 vendors are created. So you can utilize this. Like this, you have to search in your table. What is the interval available, long interval, and the very small number, 4 digit or 5 digit you can choose. So I will take C1 here. In your server you have to check it out. If you want to define new one, you can't get the interval. You can't get it. So I will just take C1. Just I will copy here. 201 to 300 is there. Only 15 numbers are created. Only 15 numbers. Come back. Assign number ranges to vendor group. Next step number 3. And position my group is exdv and link your number range. What is that number range? C1 Allah. C1. Okay, like this. So this is the vendor group configuration. Save. Okay, now if you check it in the blueprint, I will just show you, because you should know how in the blueprint they will give. Accounts payable. See here, vendor account group, they have domestic vendor, employees, CSCV, one-time vendor and statutory vendors. So they are having 4 group. And interval sequence, see number range they have given DV, EV, OV, SV, 50,000 to 59, 70,000 like this. So it is a live server. Whatever they give, we will maintain. There won't be any error message. Okay. So like this you have to use. So here 4 are there. Account group. Okay. Now this is the configuration part. Now next is we have to create vendor master. No. Now how to start creating the vendor master? So creation of vendor masters. Normally vendor masters are created in SAP EasyAccess. It will be created by end user. So there are two T codes are there to create the vendor master. Okay. One is FK01. FK01 create using basic data plus company code data. Basic data plus company code data. Next one is XK01 create using basic data, company code data plus purchase data. What is the difference? When you create any vendor under FK01, it is related to finance, accounting level. When you create under XK01, it is called centrally, which is for trading activity, So normally FK01, if the vendor is only for services, he is not a manufacturer or not a physical stock supplier, then we will only create under FK01. But if the vendor is a manufacturer and he is going to supply you the physical stock, then 100% you have to create under XK01. But now you are MM people, right? You have to create under XK01 only. I will not go for FK01. We will create under XK01 only. Okay, XK01 will create. Now this data I told, no, basic data, company code data, purchase data, it is called segments in vendor master or data types. And what are all the things we will enter in each and every segments? Basic data, company code data, purchase data, what and all we will enter, that you should know very well. First one, by in basic data, we will enter vendor name, legal name of the vendor, address, postal code, tax details, and then this one, what is that, contact details. It will like this will enter. Then coming to the company code data, it is related to financial things will update here. First one, you have to update recon account, reconciliation account, that is Sundry Creditors GL. So I showed you here, right, that vendor supplier we call it as Sundry Creditors, because finance people should have a track whatever you people are doing, right? That is, you have to link here Sundry Creditors GL, you have to link. Then sort key will be there, again this is at finance level, no, don't get into deeper. It's a default key is there, 012 vendors you have to update, it's a default key. Then another one will be there, we call it as cash management group. Here I will take A1 domestic. So what do you mean by this cash management group? Normally cash management group created in SAP to identify the source of outgoing payments, Normally we will create domestic vendor, foreign vendor, no, and from foreign vendor how much payment we have done, the payments for domestic vendor how much payment we have done. To bifurcate that one, we have a concept called cash management group. While creating vendor master only we will assign. So here there are two codes, it is also default. A1 is for domestic payment and A2 is for foreign payment, that you have to select. Okay, so that's why I will take it as domestic. I am creating domestic vendor, so I will take it here as CMG, cash management group, A1 domestic, and then TOP means terms of payment, terms of payment here I will take immediate. Again, this terms of payment concept I will discuss. There is separate configuration is there. For time being, just select as 0001 by default key immediate payment. The terms of payment is there down the line. I will discuss in deeply. Then again here other things and all, terms of payment method, it is not related to you people, just leave it off. Okay, so these are all the major things you have to update. Next one, purchase data. In purchase data you have to update PO currency as INR and this one PO currency, then Incoterms CFR Bengaluru. I will explain what is that Incoterms. Then PO value we can update here. Then again terms of payment you have to update 0001 immediate. Then schema group normally we will do in the pricing procedure. So for time being you update these three PO currency, Incoterms and terms of payment. Now what is Incoterms here? What do you mean by Incoterms? So normally Incoterms are international commercial terms. International commercial terms. So these are charges applicable when doing transit of goods. Both import or domestic. So normally international commercial terms, the concept is applicable when you are doing a transit of goods within the country or while doing the import orders. What is that? See, basically you have negotiated one purchase value with vendor, okay, around some 5 lakh. You have negotiated one goods you has to supply, but along with that base price, base whatever costing is there, the vendor will tell, so you have to give me freight, because from Delhi to Bangalore if I have to ship you have to pay me freight some 30,000. Again sir, you have to pay me customs duty around some 20,000, and you have to pay me insurance around some again 20,000. So what is the total value here? 5,70,000. So whatever the extra amount you are paying apart from your cost price, it is termed as Incoterms. And these are all the terms, commercial terms you have to pay to the authority or to the forwarder. You have to pay, otherwise you can't purchase. It's an obligation. It is not a profit for me nor a loss, but it is an obligation which I have to include in my pricing, right? That is, we call it as Incoterms, international commercial terms. So normally the standard terms we will follow is we have CFR is there, that is cost and freight, that is the normal cost and freight we will follow. Second one was CIF, cost, insurance and freight. Then FOB, freight on board, and COD, cash on delivery. Okay. So CFR means standard, that is a normal standard we will follow for all the vendor. CIF means it is applicable for critical logistics vendor, wherein they are going to do only the delivery of precious item, gold biscuit, bullion, silk item, leather jackets and all. So they have to do insurance at any time. FOB, when you are sending any shipment by sea, and COD applicable cash and delivery in the normal app. So here we will follow CFR. So that's the thing I have taken here, Incoterms as CFR. Okay. So this is the segments you have to follow while creating the vendor master. So we will create under xk01. So you have to come to easy access, logistics, materials management and purchasing, master data, here vendor, central level, xk01. See here xk01. Double click on this. Now you have to, company code is there, you have to enter purchase organization. What is the purchase organization you are going to create? Which purchase department are nominating the vendor, that you should take here. EXPO, no? Account group, just now I created my account group. EXDV, enter. So this is the first screen. You have to enter vendor basic information, give a name for vendor. So example, I will take E1. Like give any name, like E-Cart India P Limited. Okay, unit 1. Then you can mention here as P India 560090, Bangalore, country India, region as I told you 10 you have to take Karnataka. Other things you can enter. If you enter telephone number, mobile number of vendor, email, like this you can enter. This is the first information, KYC. Enter. So here tax information, if you want to update PAN number, all those things you can update. Bank account. So this is vendor bank details. They will submit in the KYC information. You have to fill. This will be done by finance, not by MM. And this is the vendor contact information. First name, who is the first name, telephone number you can update here. Then here see account information. I told no, recon account. See reconciliation. You have to select by here this one. See sundry creditor, trade payables. This GL you have to select. Sort key, it is a defaulted SAP level 01 to vendor number. And then see cash management group, I told no, it will be A1, it is default domestic payments. You have to select, enter. The next screen, payment terms. I have not created any terms, so take it as 0001 only, immediate payable immediately, and then enter. In the purchase data, see here in the purchasing data, order currency INR, terms of payment again 0001, and Incoterms CFR Bangalore you have to take, CFR Bangalore. Minimum order value you can enter, that's not a mandatory. Other things we will discuss, schema group and GR based this control and all we will discuss in the next coming. Now this is the things, enter and click on save button. So now it is duplicate. Why duplicate? That number range I have taken, no, it is exhausted, I can't take. See, remember in this step I have taken number ranges, no, C1 something I have to change. Now this thing you face in real time while creating. Wait, if you get that message you have to change the number interval. APR, vendor accounts, master data. So what I have taken here, C1, right? So remove this C1. So come to create number ranges. So see C1 also it is exhausted. Okay, let me take try with A3. Okay, A3. 301 to 450 is there, only 16 numbers are created, so I will copy A3. Come back, assign number ranges to vendor account group exdv. So A3, save the data, come back. Now try again xk01. So that one I can't take now, e-cart is there, I can't take this, so I will just change it to sector 1. Let me try. Region 10, enter. So recon account, trade payables, 01 to vendor number, A1 domestic payments, enter. 0001 terms of payment, enter. Order currency INR, terms of payment immediate, CFR Bangalore, enter and save. Now it is accepted. See, 358, it's created. See, vendor number 358 has been created, so that number range is okay, no duplication. Now using this 358 I will create another vendor. So you can see reference here, so I am taking reference of 358, company code XSide, purchase ration EXPO. Okay, using this vendor I am creating another vendor. So company, so I will take E2, so Flipkart Logistics. Okay, so again sector 2, G Pandya, region 10. Other things as per system will copy. See here, because I have taken reference, no, so no need to enter, it will copy all the things as recon account, just you have to keep on enter. See, when you use the copy reference, no, system will take all the things as enter and save. See, 358 and 359 I have created, 2 vendors. So 2 vendors is enough. Now if you want to do any changes, you can go to xk02, and if you want to display xk03, so double click on this. If you want to do any changes, you can see here general data, company code data, purchase data. You have taken no segments, basic data, company code data, purchase data. You can see here, this is general basic data, company code data, purchase data. If you want to do any changes, go to just select here, you can edit xk02, and if you want to see the list, go here, enter your company code. So this is my list, 358 and 359. Again I will copy this, and save it in your Excel sheet. So 2 vendors I have created, 358 and 359. Okay, na?
So without GST number vendor is created, sir?
GST number you can give if it is there. Here you can give GST number.
Okay, for code creation there is no mandatory required to GST number, correct?
नहीं mandatory तो नहीं है. It will be taken care by finance people. They will update the GST things and all.
And when the vendor is created, the amount is always showing in LC form. What is the LC actually?
What LC? Local currency.
Okay. INR, that means LC.
No. Local currency. So
Okay.
normally here, when you this one, when you go to company settings, no, currency settings. What is the T code? I forgot. Normally in finance we will do this, Manish. There is a in SAP standards, one we will take local currency, one is transaction currency, and one is document currency. Okay. Local currency means whatever the currency updated in company code, no, while creating company code, default system will take everywhere. That is LC. Transaction currency means when you are creating a purchase order, you want to create PO for USD currency. That is transaction currency. Document currency means when you are posting an invoice, you can change that currency. Local currency means LC here. See, order currency.
All type of taxes and all these things taking care by a finance team, correct?
No, GST we have to do. MM consultant we have to look into GST, but that will come in the later part, not now.
Like logistic, Octri, these all are part of other finance team will be do.
No. Normally you have to do calculation. When you are doing a pricing concept, अगर basic price रहता है, freight charges रहता है, so costing and all will be done by the finance people. We are going to cross check that. You are going to fix a base price. Okay. Now what are the conditions will be there if you have to import from Delhi to Bangalore? That costing will be given by the finance. What is the type of goods you are purchasing, and for that type of product there will be a custom duty applicable. They will check it out. And if
So
you
these all are part of taking care of finance. Is there any discount? Is there any freight, insurance? All these are taken care by finance.
yes, finance. But you have to incorporate that one because they will give the pricing structure. You should update in SAP. That will come in the pricing procedure. MM people also will involve in the costing because the purchase department should aware, no, for how much price you are selling, what all the costing you are adding. अगर आपने ले लिया कि 30,000 for freight, you should give, you will ask the explanation, right, why you have taken 30,000. You have to tell them, no, 30,000 कैसे ये बताना है ना management को. So you should know this, why you have taken 30,000 for freight, on what basis. So that calculation will be given by finance, but you should know how he has applied that calculation. Freight, custom duty, how he calculated the custom duty. So everything should be there.
तो वेंडर कोड क्रिएट करते वक्त सपोज सर अगर सेम एक ही आइटम के दो वेंडर है तो हाउ कैन वी कर
No. See, it's not like if he is a vendor manufacturing of multiple supplier, you can create only one, but you have to bifurcate with material master, not vendor master. Vendor is same because he is a legal entity for company. So we can't create one vendor for one item. You have to bifurcate that in the material master. While creating purchase order, vendor can be one, multiple metals you can purchase with that vendor.
So if one vendor we have a different location manufacturing plant, but we have created single one master, one vendor code.
Manufacturing plant उसका अलग अलग है. That is we are going to consider as one, but उनका corporate office किधर है? We are going to create vendor master based on his corporate sector. You will mention in the my plant is located here. My plant is, I don't know where he is going to manufacture, but ultimately I have to pay my vendor. I have to issue a purchase order. So he is a legal entity. So whatever the head office things are there as per your legal terminology, GST में कौन सा address है, GST में क्या entity है, and in the this one in import export license what is registered, based on that we'll create the vendor master. He can n number of plants. While creating the purchase order, you have to mention to which plant he has to deliver, and while mentioning this vendor master, you have to mention whether you are going to pay to the corporate office or to the plant he wants to mention the address. That you should specify in the KYC information. वो हम KYC में mention करेंगे. Okay, so anything is there? Okay, this and all you have to practice pa. Okay, now this completely whatever I have done so far you have to practice. Then next one will go for another configuration, logistics general. That is also very important. that we'll discuss in the next session. And